former Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola is also the Honorable Minister. Good to see you. You look very regal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk to us about the mood, the mood of the APC on this very day.
I think rather it's the mood of a country really very optimistic, turning a new page in our developmental and democratic history, and we're embracing it with optimism.
Absolutely. And you've been talking a lot about your optimism about the Asiwaju presidency. Many now say that it has to hit the ground running, particularly uniting Nigerians who are divided across different lines. What do you think should be the first point of call?
Well, I think that it will be a moment of bedding in and settling in while very team building starts, I would expect. And I think more importantly, all of us as Nigerians must start to play our own role. Putting Nigeria first. No one man can do it alone if we don't embrace that man and his team. And I use this opportunity to just invite Nigerians to please pay attention to Section 24 of the Constitution, where the duty of us as citizens are very well clearly prescribed, because we all know what the duty of government is, but sometimes we omit to focus on us. It is that hand holding together, the government doing its duty and the citizens doing theirs, that births the essence of the new hope.
Your Excellency, you've done 8 years as a minister under the Buhari administration, but you were chief of staff to Asiwaju. Do you think there's still more years to go, particularly in this incoming administration?
So I'm going to wish you a very good day.
Thank you so much. Well, Babatunde Fashola, former governor of Lagos and also Minister of Housing and Works under the Buhari administration, is quite silent about whether he is going to take on the much exalted role of the chief of staff that he's been talked about, but we'll see what happens in the coming days. On the sideline of the inauguration ceremony, we are talking to VIPs who are seated right there at the state box to find out what their thoughts are and especially what their expectations will be. I'm joined now by the Social Democratic Party governorship candidate in Rivers State in the just concluded 2023 general election, Senator Magnus. Thank you for joining us on TVC. You have stayed with Asiwaju before the primary, even post-election, even though you have moved from parties. What made you resolute?
Well, we had said from the beginning that the future of this country transcends politics. And if you look across this country, no other Nigerian has the capacity to be able to achieve in terms of politics and economics what Tinubu has been able to do in Nigeria. Even what we are celebrating today, the whole concept of bringing the conservative North to team up with the progressive West to redefine the politics of Nigeria could only have come out of the head of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Nobody else would have believed it was possible, and nobody else could have achieved it.
Let's talk about what he did in Rivers recently. We saw you shake hands with the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike. Was that him mending the conflict between the two of you?
Well, his own belief is that all Nigerians need to work together for the good of the country. And if we're talking of a new dawn, it really has to be new. New behavior, new attitude, new thinking, a new approach. And I think that was what that was signified for me.
So you're saying that you believe in his approach of a government of national unity, and you're willing to work with Governor Nyesom Wike. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not the one who decides on what Nigeria will do. But what I want to say to everybody is that we have a man who has the capacity, the understanding, and the ability to bring different people together to achieve what is important to this country. And that's why for so many years, some of us saw that in Asiwaju. We believe that today will come, and today is here. It starts now.
Are you still with the SDP?
I am a member of the SDP, yes. But, you know, I've always been SDP in the state and Asiwaju in the national. So nothing has changed.
That sounds like you're on your way back to the APC.
I'm not here to discuss my politics. We are here to talk about the future of Nigeria.
I see how you stylishly avoided that question. Thank you for talking to us, Senator Magnus Abe, the SDP governorship candidate in the just concluded 2023 general election. Well, I'm joined now by Chairperson of NICOM, Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Eriwa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This hour. It's been a long fought battle for the APC.
Absolutely.
It looked like it was not going to happen. But, you know, they say Ashiwaju always has his way around this thing. So what's the mood like within the party at this time?
Indescribable. For me, it's very emotional. It's been like almost a 20-year that Ashiwaju has been on this journey. And then right in this Eagle Square, this is where it started, with the primaries. And that night, I remember with his name reverberating. And here we are today. So, but the most important thing is that expectations are high. People are looking up to Ashiwaju, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that's going to, you know, change. And I know Ashiwaju will hit the ground running. He's done it before. He's prepared for this job. But my appeal is to Nigerians to support him. Let's leave all the hate and bitterness and all that behind, and let's think about our country. Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed, the president, I mean, just matter, president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and commander-in-chief. You know, he has, he knows what he wants to do. He will do what he wants to do. Let's leave all the bitterness aside and think about our country and where the leadership of Ashiwaju will take us all to.
Some say that perhaps the priority before him is uniting Nigeria, particularly when you look at how Nigerians voted during the election. You know, it now needs to bring everyone together. But I've also heard people say the first political test he has is the leadership of the National Assembly. You have been there. Talk to us about your expectation in this regard.
No, but Ashiwaju himself has said it, that he will unify it. And you know the kind of person he is. He's not the kind of person that says, oh, this person is my enemy. He doesn't. He has a forgiving spirit. He doesn't even quarrel with anybody. So I know he will do that because he has the character to unify everybody. And you can see it's beginning to happen. You know, opposition, APC all coming together under his leadership. So, yeah, for the National Assembly, well, the National Assembly is always a tough one. But I know that the National Assembly, while saying, well, we want to be independent, we also don't want this, but everything will sort itself out.
Finally, before I let you go, because I know your eyes is right there, for President Buhari, who you worked with very closely, it took him 6 months to appoint his cabinet. How long will it take Ashiwaju this time?
I can't speak for him, but you know that he has said it himself. I think Mr. Dele Alake said it, that he will. And you know, there's a law in place now that the president must appoint his cabinet within 60 days. And I know Ashiwaju will beat that deadline. So, like I said, he's prepared for this. So, calm down.
What do you say to Nigerians? If you go online, some still believe that this inauguration is not going to hold.
Absolutely.
Many prophecies, many insinuations, you know, many permutations. What do you say to these individuals out there?
Well, see, what is happening today is destiny. I know the battles that Ashiwaju had to fight to get here today. So like I said, leave that illusion away. This is reality. He is our president. He's going to be our president for the next 4 years. And he's going to be a good president. We all need to support him in our little way. It's not about appointments, it's not about anything. How can you ensure that you play your own role? Leave the hate, bitterness aside. Support Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's done it before. He'll do it again. And I know that, well, by the grace of God, he will succeed. So let's all just leave the, like I've said it before, bitterness aside, hate aside, and support this great man. This is destiny. And like I said, it started here, and here we are today.
Honorable Abike Dabiri Eriwa, thank you so much. Congratulations to you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, so on the sideline of the inauguration ceremony, we are talking to the VIPs, particularly those who are seated at the VIP pavilion, what we call the state box, identifying what's on their mind, what the mood is on inauguration day, and also asking that pertinent question that many Nigerians want to hear answer: what will Ashiwaju do differently? But what would you say, how significant would you say the 7th inauguration ceremony is for Nigeria at this time?
The very exciting thing is that clearly Nigeria has shown leadership in all of Africa. This is the 7th successful transition within the civilian milieu. It means that we are now gradually moving towards the so-called civilized nations of the world who have begun to transit without any crisis. It's an exciting day for all of us, for Nigerians. Without any exception, we're excited and we're happy about it.
So you will be joining your other colleagues at the 10th National Assembly. Can we just move back a little so that we can adjust the camera view? Thank you so very much. You'll be joining your colleagues at the 10th National Assembly. Some are saying that the initial political test before Asiwaju right now is the leadership of the National Assembly. Would you say that is settled now?
I don't see any issue whatsoever. As usual, it's a struggle for power, a struggle for control. It's quite natural and it's democratic. I don't see it affecting Asiwaju in any way. In any case, the contenders are members of the same party. And I know, as a matter of fact, they are all serious supporters of Asiwaju. So it's not a question of I'm fighting for my people, I'm fighting for myself and stuff like that. I have a feeling that at the end of the day after will be exciting.
In 2015, it did not go your party's way, and some said it affected President Buhari's performance.
That was a technical issue. People did not arrive in time. Things started happening, and I don't think we've gone beyond that. That will not happen this time around.
All right, talk to us about your expectation for this incoming administration. First, we are told that Nigerians are divided along political lines. If you look at the figures from the national election, how do you think Asiwaju can begin to mend this?
Well, if you look at the demographics of the election, you will see that Asiwaju won across the board. And if somebody has scored more than 25% in more than 2/3 of the states of the Federation, clearly that is a nationalist in the making. I don't have any issues at all. I have a strong feeling that, by and large, after the battle of election and all of that, people will come together. We have now matured, and I keep telling people that we have become quite sophisticated now. I don't see those problems that many people say. I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Let me amuse you a little before I let you go. So there are insinuations, there are prophecies about Asiwaju's swearing in. One bishop did say, moments before he gets sworn in, he will be arrested. What do you say to people who still have a second doubt about the reality of this happening today?
I think that, let's just say they are jokers. That's the way I'm just going to put it. We're all here, and if anybody wants to arrest him, let him arrest all of us together.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, and do have a great day. Thank you, Otuba. We now have two senators as president and vice president. What does that say? Because that's perhaps the first time that is happening.
It's an indication that our democracy is growing. If you recall, in the US, most of their presidents usually comes from the Senate. So I think our democracy is becoming matured, and then people are graduating from one level to another. What that does is to bring a better understanding of how to govern, and also bringing people with adequate experience in all facets of governance, which is good for our democracy.
Absolutely. So you have worked with Asiwaju both as a political foe and a political ally, and as a commissioner. What's your expectation from him as president of the Federal Republic?
Well, I think we are blessed to have a man like Asiwaju as our president-elect, and very shortly the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm saying this because he has seen it all. He was in the Senate, he was an elected governor, and he has also nurtured and mentored quite a number of people who have also distinguished themselves in different fields. So I think it's the time to now harness all that. It's like when you plant a seed, and at some point there'll be time to reap the planting. So I think this is the time that all those Asiwaju, all those people that he has mentored and sustained over the years in different walks of life will now come together to support his administration. And one thing you cannot take away from him is a good hunter when it comes to search for talents. So he is going to come up with people who will support his government to ensure that Nigeria gets nothing but the best.
Nigerians are counting on that. Senator Musili Obanikoro, thank you for talking to us. I'm joined by the APC woman leader, Dr. Betta Edu. It's been a very tedious campaign season for you. You must feel relaxed seeing that all the works now have come to fruition, right?
Victory at last. Finally. Honestly, this is God who gave us victory. And we're indeed very grateful to him. I feel so happy today. The weather has been calm. Showers of blessing came in this morning. Indeed, everything just says it's Asiwaju's time. A man of destiny, an idea whose time has come.
Absolutely. Well, the challenge is still with the number of women in the leadership. It still remains a perennial challenge we face on election year. When you look at the percentage of women, for instance, in the House of Reps and the Senate, are you optimistic that Asiwaju will engage more women this time?
Definitely, he has given his words that 35% of his cabinet at all levels, including the heads of parastatals, all the way down, would be women. As a man of his words, he's done it before in Lagos State, he'll do it again in Nigeria. Women, this is our time.
Absolutely. So the talk out there is that the Asiwaju presidency has a deadline and it's due in 4 years. The moment it gets swearing today, it has to hit the ground running. Vis-a-vis what Nigerians have experienced in the past 8 years, what do you consider the key areas that he must begin to consider even in the first few days in office?
Well, first, number one would be security of lives and properties across the nation, and then of course fixing the economy, health sector, education, agriculture, and then power. Power very important, because we cannot build an economy if the power is not working. So a lot of all of these things will begin to come together in the next few days. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man who is always prepared. He comes prepared and is coming into governance prepared. He's one man who I can bet my life on that has arranged his agenda for the next 6 months, what he intends to achieve, and we'll see him achieve it by the grace of God.
APC woman leader, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And do have a great time.
Congratulations to Nigeria.
Well, the Chief of Defense Staff is right here at the Eagle Square, and just arriving is also the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola. In a short while, we're expecting the Vice President-elect, the President-elect, as well as the current Vice President and President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to join with the inauguration ceremony. It's expected to kick off by 10 a.m. But I'm here with Engineer Gbenga, Chairman Association of Licensed Telecoms Operators. They say that this is the 7th consecutive inauguration ceremony. Please come close. Talk to us about how significant today's ceremony is for Nigeria.
It is very significant. We have had a consistent handover of government over the last 7 administrations, and as a people it continues to show that our democracy is getting more matured. We are getting more organized as a people, and also to the extent that the world is looking at us and Nigeria as an example. I think that it's putting us better and better in the world global place, and it is important as leadership in Africa and as leaders in democracy in Africa. For us as a country, this moment is very important and very symbolic.
What are telecoms operators looking forward to in the new administration, from the new administration?
We look forward to a more stable operating environment. We look forward that issues of multiple taxation that we face will be addressed. And more importantly, we look forward that the issue of our public infrastructure will be addressed. Energy remains a major problem. Security remains a major problem for us as an industry. And we believe that the new administration will be able to address this head on.
Are these conversations you had with the outgoing administration, and how did it go?
Well, it's been a journey. We have been on it. Things are getting better, but things can be much better than they are today. The issue of energy and security is very important, and we expect that the new administration will address that head on.
Thank you, Engineer Adebayo. Happy Inauguration Day to you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Stay tuned with TVC News.